Hello, from UK again. I hope you are keeping well. Over here in UK it's now Friday, so we are slowly walking into the weekend. So I want to address something which might be going a bit deeper. Now, why is it that when we are leaving a narcissistic relationship, we're going for the next today, why is it that we are craving to go back so often? So what is it about? Because if we look at it factually, there is no need, there is no use to go back, there is no news. It's all old news and we should move on. But somehow deep inside of us, we can't. So why is that? It is because manipulative narcissists or narcissistic tendencies they carry, right? Because they might not be diagnosed, but they might have strong narcissistic tendencies. They are doing something which is called love bombing and love crumbing. So love bombing is the version of I do everything right for you, I love you to pieces, you are the best whatever happened to me, let me know your wishes and I will fulfill them. This is love bombing. It's very strong, manipulative. They do it either consciously or subconsciously. We're not about diagnosing them, we're about helping you to understand why this is. So love bombing is heaven on earth. As I said, you know, I'm talking about my own experiences as well as a hypnotherapist here. So love bombing is heaven on earth. You think, oh my God, I found the one, I'm finally home, I'm feeling so connected, I'm feeling so seen, so heard and so understood. And it's amazing. They are always there, which should already be a red flag, because normally no one in a healthy relationship, right? No one can always be there. They have their own life, right? They are not evolving around one person. So healthiness is when they have friends, when they have work, yeah, so they're not always there. So my love bomber used to be always there. It was always available. So, and this was extremely soothing, right? Specifically when I've been growing up in a environment where intelligence was the A and O to go to, but emotions, they weren't be discussed, they weren't accepted. Yeah, it was basically I had to bring myself emotionally up, because I couldn't discuss anything with my parents about emotion. They weren't just there. The only emotion what was allowed was basically being content. Yeah, being on the same level, content. Yeah, everything what goes down, oh my God, no. And everything what was goes up, my narcissistic oriented half of the parents, yeah, I don't really want to point something out here because that's not about it, but I'm trying to explain it. So half of the parent couple basically was not happy when I was happy as a child. They didn't like it. I don't know why. I'm not analyzing them. This is not to analyze anyone, but they didn't like it. So I've learned to be just content, like, you know, like functionating same level content. Now imagine that you're now all of a sudden finding someone who is not only circling around you like this. Yeah, love bombing is amazing. Yeah, I have to agree to it. It is amazing, but it's not true, because they're doing this by studying you, what you need, because, you know, as someone who's open and lively, and you're going to talk about yourself. Of course you do. In a relationship, you know, when you start a relationship, you talk about your experiences. You don't think much about it because you trust that person. So you talk about yourself, so you talk about your downs and your ups, and you're just a lively, open person, so there's nothing wrong with that. But they study you. So they basically study you, and they know after a while how they can get you with love bombing. But you think, or you believe, because you don't think like them, that's the main point. You don't think like them. And that's why you will never understand. You might comprehend from the factual value what they're doing, but not from the emotional, from the understanding deep down. You won't be able to do this because you don't think like this. And that's the main point why love bombing works so well. Because you find it amazing because someone is evolving around you, and who doesn't, yeah? If you have someone who is reading every wish from your lips, why not, yeah? So, but it's not real, because a person who is involved in a healthy, normal life, they don't have the capacity, and they don't need to have the capacity, because you need to make yourself happy. Yeah, that's one of the learning curves when we come out of the narcissistic relationships. We need to make ourselves happy. We don't know how to do this, but we learn it on the way out. So this partner comes in. Fantastic. My home, my life. Yeah. I felt amazing. He was always available, always there. Never a no. Yeah. Never anything. So he didn't have any. I mean, now I'm laughing about it because you see me smiling, but it's not smileable, it's not. But when you are over it, you will smile about it as well. You will be able to smile about it, and you think, this is actually very unrealistic. But I didn't think about this. It felt amazing. So, love bombing. That's the first thing where they draw you in. And then obviously the more you feel relaxed and beautifully taken care of, basically, the more you open up. So it's a catch-22. You open more up so they can study you even more. Now, after this, it gets a bit dafty. So when they feel like they have you secure in their own little ways, yeah, as I said, we're not analysing them. So then the punishment starts. Yeah. So, for little things because you have to admire them, right? You have to give them the admiration, because that's what they are after. They want to be admired. They want to be the only one in your world. And after a lovely time in a relationship, it's relatively normal that you step out into your normal life again. Yeah, every relationship has this hooey phase, yeah, which I just want to be with this partner and I don't want to be with anyone else. But after a while, you step out into your life, and that is when they become displeasant. You displease them. You displease them in you being you, right? So you are losing value because they have you on a pedestal in the beginning. In the beginning, you are here, up here. You're the queen. You're the queen bee, yeah, as woman. Or queen, I don't know, king bee as a man. Sorry, I just had to think about that. So you're up here on the pedestal, and then with every displeasement, with everything that you say no, and you're just not, you think it's a normal relationship. You're sinking down, 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 down. And every time you displease them, you get punished. That is when you then say, I need to get out here, because it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse, because you're going to displease them more and more and more in their own world. Not that they're doing it. You're going to be your loving, beautiful, wonderful self, living your life and wanting a reciprocated relationship, right? But that's not what you're going to get, because you're going to put your attention somewhere else, and that is a no-go for a narcissistic orientated person. It's a no-go. And this is when the punishments starts. But now coming back, why do you crave? So when you finally go out of the relationship because you realize I can't stay there, it's too toxic, and believe you me, it takes quite a long time, and in certain cases it took me quite a long time as well, then you will start craving for them. It's like it was for me, it was like I could not stop thinking about them. I could not concentrate on anything else than having to mull over what happened, why did it happen, why couldn't it happen differently, and did I do something wrong? I even had thoughts like, am I the one who's toxic? Yeah, did I maybe analyze something? I'm an analyzer, that's why I'm a therapist. So yeah, I'm analyzing, right? So I've analyzed myself basically to death. Okay. And I craved, I wanted to go back, I wanted a normally life, I wanted to be with them. And then what it actually is, what you are craving, is the possibility of a relationship with them. Because you connected, remember the love bombing. You thought you connected to a real person. Not the real person, you connected to a real person. To the real being, and you loved it. You might have had interested conversations, you might have had romantic dinners, you might have had the time of the world, and you loved that. So you are craving that. Okay, now crumbles, they throw crumbles as well, don't they? So every time you do something right, it's like dog training, and you're like, here you go, have a crumb of love. These crumb of loves are bitter sweet. You want more of them because you get basically trained to behave like they want you to behave. And I know this sounds so awful, because when you go out and you think, my God, you know, I am actually quite an independent thinker. Why did I get into this situation? I will explain more. But for now, we just leave it like this. This is what you crave. You don't crave the real person, because in most cases, you don't even know the real person. You know masks. Mask 1, mask 2. The real person could be vulnerable, insecure, unhappy, you name it, but you will never know that. You might think it if you are an empathetic understanding, an empathetic understanding and a very empathetic being. You might factually already guess that something is really not right there, but you can't grab it. There's no totalitarity. You don't know, because you don't know the person. Because the most thing what they don't want you to see is them. The real person. So what you're craving is the possibility which they showed you. The possibility of a wonderful, loving, connected relationship with interests, with time without end, and with love. But it's a possibility. It's not true. So what can you do? There's one really very, very good exercise. When you have time, set yourself down, either record it, audio, video, or make yourself a bullet point list. Write down what they did to punish you. Write down your punishments. I know this will hurt, but it will really, really help you to stop the craving, because treat it as a bit of a drug addiction. You are addicted to the love crumbs, to the love bombing. You want that back because it was nice. The endorphins were going. You felt twice as pretty, yeah, and twice as good in life, and you felt like, I'm home. I always said to my friends, I feel I arrived home. Okay, so yeah, just write down factually, not emotionally, factually, how they punished you. What did they do? Silent treatment. Lies? Mine used to take things which were my own. Yeah. I had 2 of them, so one forged my signature. It's a really big deal. I mean, under contracts, which I then had to pay off. So that's a really big deal. I'm sharing with you, but I'm sharing this as an example, right? I want to give you an example what you can jot down. Did they punish you when you went out with friends by not being nice to you after you came home? I had that, yeah. And then I'm a high empath, so basically I through the upbringing, I read body language like a book, right? I had to, because that was basically my survival tool with my parents, to understand what's going on there. So I'm very, very high trained in reading people. Oh boy, yeah. Even if they were nice as pie, I could read something is wrong. You have been on the wrong end. You're not a nice little girly. You haven't been pleasant to him. Yeah. So, do they do that? Yeah. Do they go out and don't tell you where they're going? Do they flirt with people, right, when you're out and about, but they don't care for you? Or is it right the opposite? Do they care amazingly for you in front of others, and at home they're just assholes? I'm sorry, I just have to point you out like this. Bullet point list. Write the points down. And when you feel the craving, that's the time to get the bullet point list right in front of your eyes. I know it will hurt, but I know it will then give you the power inside, the anger you need to stop craving for them. Because once you stop craving for them, there is no danger that you will in any circumstance thinking of going back. These bullet point list stops you in the cravings. And they are cravings. So treat it a bit like you are having a bit of a drug addiction. You are addicted to the adrenaline, to the excitement, what is between love bombing, love crumbs, and gaslighting and silent treatment. And it goes up and it goes down and up and down and up and down. That is what makes you so in doubt. Yeah. Should I go back? Is it me who was the baddie? Yeah. So I could make a video about 2 hours long with this, but I just leave you and love you here. If you have got questions, don't worry. There will be no loose ends. I'm going to talk more about this because that's very important. But do the list, okay? Bullet point list, factual punishment. What was going on there? How did you get punished? I'm sure you will find a lot of examples. And when the craving hits, have the list ready. Read it through. Take a deep breath and say, there was a bloody reason why I left, and I will not go back. You're doing very well. I'll see you to my next video. Take good care of self. Goodbye.